Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're looking at the different viruses in the Resident Evil series.
Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
For this video, we're only looking at the most important viruses in the Resident Evil video games, whether that's because they were vital to the plot or a particular game, or because they showed up in all of them.
Umbrella.
What?
Progenitor Virus. This is the one that started it all. Originally drawn from a flower called Stairway of the Sun endemic in West Africa, the Progenitor Virus caused mutations in those who consumed flora and fauna infected with it. While this meant most people died fast but horrible deaths, a handful gained superhuman abilities, which is what drew the attention of people who wanted to use the virus for nefarious purposes. When Umbrella got wind of it in the 1960s, they jumped on the chance to make it into a bioweapon and make a lot of money, setting the events of every Resident Evil game since into motion. T-Virus.
The ultimate life form. Tyrant.
It took a long time from the discovery of the Progenitor Virus for Umbrella to successfully create a strain of their own. By splicing this virus with the DNA of a leech, the T-Virus was born. Officially named the Tyrant Virus, it's by far the most common pathogen in the entire franchise, responsible for innumerable outbreaks, but it's far from perfect. The zombies it creates by reanimating dead flesh are mindless and unable to be commanded. They're great at causing mayhem and destruction, but none of the garden variety zombies are capable of being the elite super soldiers Umbrella is really looking for. The T-Virus is also responsible for creating the first Tyrants, which are much more powerful, but significantly rarer and harder to make than a standard monster. On the bright side though, it's one of the few viruses that has a vaccine. G-Virus. The G-Virus, or Golgotha virus, can be devastating, but isn't anywhere near as effective as a bioweapon because it's much harder to spread it between hosts. Its creator, William Birkin, is one of the hosts to the virus and undergoes severe mutations, turning him into a violent and deadly monster, but is not capable of spreading the virus. This is because it can only be transmitted either by direct injection of the virus or through ingestion of the virus by a blood relative. It is capable of producing G embryos to enable contagion, but many of those infected with these embryos won't be viable hosts. Despite this, it's still one of the most dangerous viruses out there due to the extreme mutations. The Nemesis. After Umbrella finally perfected the powerful and single-minded tyrants, they took it one step further by implanting these tyrants with any alpha-type parasites. These parasites were genetically engineered by the Umbrella Corporation, and the most dangerous tyrant of all is the one that endlessly pursues Jill Valentine in Resident Evil 3. Though others were created, this is the only one we see in the games, and it's a deadly adversary. Clever enough to watch and wait, this monster was also able to wield weapons, at one point taking advantage of a rocket launcher to achieve its goals. Worse still, these tyrants are also capable of transmitting the standard T-Virus to anyone who gets in their way. T-Veronica Virus. Again, splicing the Progenitor Virus with the DNA of a random animal, in this case an ancient queen ant, has devastating results. The T-Veronica virus's most powerful host was Alexia Ashford, who managed to keep her mind and sanity intact by placing herself in cryostasis after infecting herself. She spent 15 years asleep like this as the virus slowly merged with her DNA, and by the time she was awoken, she'd developed mutations so powerful she could potentially take over the world. However, the virus's grip on a person's mind cannot be predicted. Both Steve Burnside and Javier Hidalgo were able to regain control of themselves even when they were infected very quickly, making T-Veronica as frightening as it is volatile.
You are not worthy of its power!
T-Abyss Virus. Resident Evil Revelations took a different route to the standard zombies by combining them with sea creatures, giving players an array of oceanic monsters to fight. This is because the virus at the heart of this game was the T-Abyss Virus, created by a team of researchers by combining the T-Virus with the strange Abyss Virus, uncovered deep in the underwater trench. The Abyss Virus was capable of infecting many kinds of fish, making it excellent at jumping across species, and gave them mutations enabling them to survive extreme depths. It was seized by Ilveltro, a group of bioterrorists who threatened to send the T-Abyss virus out into the oceans. Las Plagas.
Chainsaw.
One of the few contagions in the franchise that isn't part of the Progenitor family or a variation on the T-Virus, Las Plagas are parasitic organisms that, of course, induce zombie-like mutations in the majority of their hosts. Lab experiments revealed that Las Plagas could also create powerful mutants unlike anything seen before, like the giant salamander that tries to eat Leon Kennedy. These experiments were conducted by a cult operating in rural Spain, Los Iluminados, who planned to infect the world via Ashley Graham, the president's daughter. However, they're also some of the easiest parasites to kill. A concentrated dose of UV radiation will do the trick, often killing the plaga within while enabling the host to survive.
How are you feeling?
Like $1,000,000.
Uroboros Virus. Longtime villain Albert Wesker decided to develop the Uroboros virus as a way to eradicate huge swaths of humanity. Basically, anybody with undesirable genetic traits. Wesker is the only one we see infected with the Uroboros who's deemed compatible, with the other two Uroboros creatures encountered becoming nothing more than swarming masses of black tentacles capable of absorbing any and all biological material they come into contact with. But this is actually the weaker strain of the virus. At its most potent, it had a 100% kill rate. It was only after exposing Uroboros, itself a mutated strain of the progenitor, to Jill Valentine's T-Virus antibodies, that it was able to fully infect and control a human being. It's considered the most destructive virus in the franchise so far.
Time to die, Chris.
Check out these other great clips from MojoPlays, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.